What if the single most powerful financial upgrade you'll ever experience has nothing to do with crypto, real estate, or landing a six-figure salary? It's one specific number, and the moment you cross it, almost everything changes. Here's something the personal finance world conveniently glosses over. It's not the absence of money that wrecks most people. It's the mental weight of having no buffer. Picture this. Two people in your city both get a flat tire on the way to work. Same Tuesday morning, same pothole. Person 1 pulls over, calls a tow truck, thinks, well, that's annoying, and moves on. Person 2 pulls over and has a full panic attack. Not because of the tire, because of everything the tire represents. The $400 repair, the rent that's already borderline, the credit card that's barely breathing. Same flat tire, completely different realities. And here's the part that should genuinely make you uncomfortable. The difference between those two people isn't talent, discipline, or income. It's one number sitting in a savings account. I know, you're probably thinking, great, another finance YouTuber telling me to save money. Stick with me, because what I'm about to walk you through has almost nothing to do with the money itself. Let me tell you about two people in the same industry, similar skill sets, applying for jobs around the same time. The first guy, let's call him Marcus, gets an offer. Salary is lower than he wanted. Hours are brutal. Commute adds 90 minutes to his day. He has $200 in savings and rent due in 11 days. He signs. The second person? She turns down two offers before accepting one that paid $18,000 more annually, with remote flexibility. What separated them? She had $10,000 in a high-yield savings account. She could afford to wait. She wasn't negotiating from desperation. She was negotiating from options. Here's a number that should stop you mid-scroll. Salary negotiation studies show that candidates who aren't urgently job hunting receive initial offers averaging 17% higher than desperate applicants. Same resume, same skills, just not visibly starving for the role. Now let's talk about something I call the decision tax. Economists and neuroscientists have a name for what happens when your brain runs low on decision-making fuel: cognitive depletion. Every choice you make, even tiny ones, draws from a finite daily reservoir of mental energy. Now imagine what happens when you're living paycheck to paycheck. Can I afford lunch today? Name brand or off-brand? Is the gym membership still worth it? What if the car needs work this month? Do I have enough for the copay? By 2 in the afternoon, half your cognitive bandwidth is gone, spent on survival math. The real questions: should I take that course? Should I pitch for a raise? Is this business idea worth pursuing? Get buried under the noise. Princeton researchers found that people under financial stress showed a cognitive performance drop equivalent to losing a full night of sleep every single day. That's not a money problem. That's a thinking problem. And $10,000 in savings essentially gives your brain back to you. Some people spend years wondering why they can't think clearly about their career. Turns out their brain's been doing freelance accounting on the side the whole time. Now let's talk about what I call the opportunity window. Opportunities have a deeply inconvenient habit of showing up exactly when you're broke. Scenario 1. A certification in your field could add $8,000 to your annual salary. Cost up front, $1,500. Without savings, impossible. With $10,000 sitting in your account, obvious. Scenario 2. A colleague launching a small startup offers you a small equity stake for a $2,000 contribution. No savings? You wave them off. With your foundation? You have the option to decide. Now, to be absolutely clear, I am not saying drain your emergency fund into your coworker's cold brew energy drink company. Please don't do that. But here's the psychological shift that changes everything. Having options and having zero options are completely different mental states. $10,000 is roughly the threshold where options start appearing on the map. Sit with this one. A person earning $40,000 a year with $10,000 saved is statistically more likely to build long-term wealth than someone earning $90,000 with nothing in the bank. Not because of income, because of identity, because of habit, because of who they've become. Here's the breakthrough most people completely miss. Saving $10,000 is not primarily a math challenge. It's an identity challenge. The people who reach this milestone don't think, I'm going to cut back for a while. They think, I am someone who builds financial security. Different sentence, different person, different outcome. Here's how that turns into a practical system. Step 1. Start embarrassingly small. $25 a week. Most people skip this because it feels meaningless. But the mechanism you're building, the habit, the automatic transfer, the self-concept, is worth exponentially more than the initial amount. Step 2. Remove willpower from the equation entirely. Willpower is a terrible saving strategy. It depletes. It negotiates with itself. Set up an automatic transfer the day your paycheck hits, before your brain gets any creative ideas about new sneakers. Step 3. Scale by 1% every 60 to 90 days. Not painfully, not dramatically. Just 1%. From 25 to 30. From 30 to 35. You're building a savings engine that runs on momentum instead of motivation. Quick reality check. The average American spends roughly $280 a month eating out, $120 on streaming and subscriptions, and over $200 on convenience purchases. That's over $600 in flexible spending. Redirect just 20% of that, around $120 a month, and you hit $10,000 in under 7 years. Redirect 30%? Under 5. Add any side income at all? Under 3. And here's the reframe that changes everything. The $10,000 isn't the finish line. It's the starting pistol. Once you've built this foundation, something almost mechanical happens. You think about the next $10,000 not as a distant dream, but as a logical next step. The hardest dollar you will ever save is the first one. Everything after that gets progressively easier, because you're no longer fighting your identity. You are someone who saves. Let's land this. $10,000 isn't a wealthy person milestone. It's the threshold that rewires your stress response, your negotiating power, and your daily cognitive capacity. We walked through 3 real shifts: the negotiation trap keeping broke people locked into bad deals, the decision tax silently draining your mental performance every single day, and the opportunity window that only opens once you have a cushion beneath you. The path doesn't require extreme sacrifice. It requires building the identity of someone who holds on to money through small, consistent, automated habits that compound quietly in the background. If this reframed how you think about savings even slightly, hit subscribe. Every week I break down the psychology behind money decisions so that good financial habits start feeling almost automatic. And here's my question for you. Drop it in the comments. What's your personal "I'd finally feel safe" number? Is it $1,000? $10,000? $100,000? There's no wrong answer. I'm genuinely curious where that psychological threshold sits for you. I read every comment, and I'll reply to the most interesting ones personally. See you in the next one.